perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah. Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, TPR Nation. Welcome to another Follow-Up Friday. This is Amber Kuhn from The Perfect RA, and I am thrilled to be joining you as today's Follow-Up Friday host. As you know, our Follow-Up Friday episodes are all about taking action. So let's do a recap and then get into those action items. On Monday's episode, Matt and Mike were discussing how to handle situations with clients not only during a volatile market, but preparing them before it ever happens. How are you explaining potential changes to your clients, and are you setting those expectations? The answer, as Mike has shared, is not giving them a 72-page document. Your job as a financial advisor is to make sure that you are clearly explaining things to your clients and making sure that you have an action plan for when the market changes. The guys were talking about, how do you handle a client statement that shows that they're down $50,000 that month? How do you actually have that discussion with them? Matt and Micah stressed that this is a key time where client communication comes into play. Matt shared that when this happens, he makes sure to put this into context. And Micah recommended using the phrase, hey, let's take a step back. And when he's sharing that, he'll even use that action by leaning back in his chair. He explains to his clients how their account has gone up and down over time and that what they're experiencing is normal. You can explain that market volatility is and will always be normal as long as you, as the advisor, has a rock solid plan. Micah recommended being prepared to answer one of the deepest questions a client will likely have when their account goes down, which is, can I stay retired? You shouldn't be surprised by this question or how to handle this scenario. You want to make sure that you are setting expectations for what happens, not if the market changes, but when. So on Monday, Matt and Micah referenced Murphy's Law in setting expectations for their clients, which is as soon as they invest money, the market's going to crash. And the day they retire, the market's going to crash. This is laid out in a manner where they're already expecting the market to go down. And Matt likes to use the phrase of Mr. and Mrs. Client. When you go to retire, just so you know, the market will go down. But a reminder that, hey, we have a 5-year buffer. He's setting these expectations with his clients while assuming the market will go down. He's never trying to do a forecast for clients, though. So he doesn't try to predict what the market will do because, as he mentioned, then you're going to risk being wrong. And let's face it, no one likes to be wrong because if that happens, then in turn, you're going to affect the client's confidence in you, and you don't want to back yourself into a corner. It's also important to have a plan with your clients for how to handle changes from market volatility if there's something a client is wanting to do. So in Micah's case, he mentioned a client who may want to buy an RV, or Matt gave an example of a client that he had who was extremely ill, but they were wanting to send their grandkids to college. So you want to be able to show how these changes will be reflected in their income and, of course, be prepared. So in Micah's example, he'll tell his clients, okay, you want this RV? Great. Let's simulate this and practice as if you already had it. And let's see how you feel with making these payments before you make the actual purchase, because you're still going to want to do all the same things that you've already been doing. So, what do you as the advisor have control over during market volatility? Matt and Micah gave a great example of a pilot talking to a passenger during turbulence. This is not the moment to freak out because guess what? Then the passengers are going to freak out. Instead, the pilot remains calm and acts like it isn't a big deal. The same thing goes for you as the advisor. Matt and Micah aren't focusing on month to month, and this is really where guardrails and buckets comes into play for them. They have a single printout and it answers pretty much 99% of their clients' questions, and it doesn't leave them feeling surprised. You can't control or predict the market, but you can control how it's handled and how your client feels during market volatility. All right, so we went over items from Monday's episode. So let's get into this week's action items. Action item number 1. Are you ready to push your practice to the next level? Matt and Micah will be joining XYPN Live at a pre-con event in October. This is going to be an incredible event where we will have a panel of success. Benjamin Brandt is going to be joining Matt and Micah along with Stephen Jarvis from Retirement Tax Services. So be sure to go to live.xyplanningnetwork.com to get signed up. Invictus members, you are invited to join at no additional cost. So please be sure to email us so we can get you signed up. Backstage Pass members, you will receive a substantial discount. So be sure to reach out to us so we can make sure that you receive your member discount code. There are limited spaces available for this, so make sure you get signed up today. Action item number 2, figure out what your foundational communication piece is. This is that one item you will have in every single meeting. So for Matt, it's guardrails. For Micah, it's buckets. But this is that go-to one-page report that is so simple you can draw it in crayon and not lose the message. Action item number 3. Micah frequently talks about how important it is to have your team on board with everything that you're doing, with your reports, your plans for clients, handling market volatility. Does your team know how all of this works? What happens if the market drops and a client calls and your assistant or operations answers the phone? Are they scared, going, oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening? Or do they understand that this truly is not the time to panic? So where it's this situation, or even it's a value add that you're offering, make sure that you're going through these things with your team so they can understand and answer calls from clients with confidence and conviction. Lastly, sharing is caring. Be sure to not only give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, which we are now on Amazon Music, but please be sure to share this podcast with other advisors as well. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife.